A lot of producers mention about a lot of rules that you need to follow in electronic music, but Fred again is breaking almost all of them. And in today's video, we're gonna go through a few things that Fred again is doing in his own songs that are making them so unique, so you can start doing the same things in your own songs as well. But before we begin, let me know which one is your favorite track from Fred again over here in the comments. And now let's get started with this video. Let's go. Fred again is a man of many genres. Whether he's making house music like in the song called Delilah, or something a lot more aggressive like in the song called Rumble.
Run for them life. When I step into the jungle, say they wanna group up. They better move up.
Or something that could even be considered as progressive house like in the song called Danielle. Or even something that could be considered as deep house like in the song called 10. Fred again's music is all about creative freedom, and basically everything that you consider to be a rule of electronic music, Fred again is doing it in his own way and breaking these rules. For example, instead of limiting yourself in only one genre, Fred again is doing everything that he likes, and essentially he's doing multiple genres that serves his live performances. Therefore, don't think that you need to limit yourself into only one genre, because that's not what necessarily will make people like your music. In addition to enhancing your skills by experimenting with new genres, what will make people like your music is delivering amazing songs one after the other. And for that to happen, Fred again is doing a lot of things that people would advise you not to do. But what are these things that make Fred again's songs so amazing? Well, regardless of how Fred is making his song, groove is a common thing and it's always present as a main element of his songs. And if you listen to the song, it's not only something that it's done with the percussions, but also something that it's done with the bass lines and basically everything else in the song. Listen, for example, to the song called Baby Again. The groove is not only due to the percussions, and listen for example over here in Ableton in a quick attempt to recreate this song only with the percussions. The percussions are indeed groovy, but what adds a lot of the groove is also the bass line, as you can listen over here alone with the kick. But if you listen to everything together now, everything just ties up together with the groove and it just makes the whole song sound a lot better. But in addition to all that, Fred also adds some chords to the song that also contributes to the grooviness of the song, as you can listen over here in the song called Delilah. However, notice how it's not a main lead of the song, but a main chord progression, as you can listen over here. There's not a main lead in the song, but the chord progression in the song is really groovy and contributes to the groove of the song as well. But when Fred adds in fact a lead in the song, as you can listen in the song called Turn Off the Lights, instead of being a sustained lead that could be a bit static, you can see that the lead also is really rhythmic, as you can also listen in the song called Maria. Joining the percussion and the pumpy bass line, the leads also contributes to the rhythmic groove of the song, and that's essentially why his songs are so groovy. Therefore, if you want to make your song groovy as well, don't forget that you need percussions, a bass line, and basically everything else to be fitting that groovy vibe of the song. But that's not what I like the most about Fred again's song. I love how Fred again does sampling in his songs. For example, listen to the main song of the vocal called Adore You. You think that this is an original vocal, but listen to this over here. It's a ripped vocal. And if you listen to other pieces of the song called Adore You, like this bit over here, where did Fred get these samples from? If you listen to the song called Stick 'Em by Fat Boys, listen to this for example. And the second bit of it, familiar, right? Essentially, Fred picked these samples from the original songs and essentially just incorporated into his own song. But now, let's listen to something different. Listen, for example, to this song called 10. Really amazing melody, right? Really groovy, soothing, really nice. But check this sample over here from Capsune's Pro Audio Lo-Fi House Pack. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like what Daft Punk did in a lot of their songs, if you find something that you like, why not incorporate it to your own songs as well? Yes, be careful when using original songs because these could cause you copyright problems if you just pick them and use them in your track. But if you're using sample packs, why not just pick something that you like and add it to your songs? With samples, I always recommend changing it a bit to make it harder to spot. So changing the BPM, changing the arrangement, or even changing the key of the sample can make it a little bit more interesting and a little bit harder for people to guess what you're using. But if you want to use a song in your songs, what I would advise you to do is pick songs from smaller artists on YouTube. So essentially they're easier to reach and you can ask for permission to use your sample, and if they allow, you can use it in your songs and later release it as your own song. And that's something that Fred did a lot with his vocals, and that takes us to our next point in this video. Vocals are present in almost all Fred Again songs, and that by itself is something to take notice of. If you have a vocal in your song, it just makes the song a bit more singable and also easier to remember, and that makes it easier for your fans to engage with your fans and with you. And essentially Fred uses vocals in a lot of different ways. First, if you listen over here in the song called Delilah, Fred sometimes picks vocals from his friends in calls or audio messages and just add it to the songs, as you can listen over here.
I knew we were gonna dance, but we danced so hard.
But the one that I like the most is what he did in the song called Maria. In there, Fred was in a call with a DJ called Maria Stamper, and she was talking about the impacts that the pandemic had on us, and Fred picked that and added it into a song, as you can listen over here.
If I can live through
We've lost dancing.
this next 6 months.
That's essentially just her talking to him on a call. Pretty cool, right? But sometimes what Fred does, he picks vocals from songs that he likes, as he did in the song called Baby Again. Originally, this vocal is from the song called Baby by Lil Baby, Da Baby, and Quality Control, as you can listen over here.
Baby, he the realest. Baby, probably got a couple million.
Fred essentially added some pitch or formant shifting in the song to make a tone a little bit different from the original, and essentially made a song out of that. And even in songs where you think that the vocal is original, as you can listen in the song called Danielle.
I wanna feel the pain. You say you're done.
This vocal is in fact from the song called Nice to Have by 070 Shake, as you can listen over here.
I wanna feel the pain. You say you're done.
But Fred rearranged the vocals to make it in his own. Therefore, remember that you don't necessarily need to have your own vocalist to make a vocal songs. Sometimes you can pick that from sample packs or even from your friends, but if you want to choose it from a song, as I've said in the sampling part, pick it from a smaller artist that you can reach out and essentially get permission so you can later release the song commercially as well. But there's a couple things that Fred does in his songs that completely go out of the box, and that's something that we're gonna cover in the next topic of this video. Fred is always adding something in the middle of his songs to completely change the vibe of the song, sometimes feeling like there's a song inside a new song or there's something completely different. Listen for example to the song called Delilah and listen how the song goes. But then in the end of the song, listen how it becomes. Completely different, and the same happens in the song called Rumble. Listen for example in the original part of the song.
Run for them life. When I step into the jungle, say they wanna group up. They better move up, never gonna win a Royal Rumble.
It's a kick, some percussions, a bass, and some kind of UK drill kind of vocal. But then in the middle of the song, listen to what it becomes. It becomes melodic with a different vocal, which is actually from a Skrillex song that he reused in this song. And essentially, it changes again afterwards, as you can listen over here.
In the jungle, jungle, the jungle, the jungle, the jungle, the jungle.
But one thing that I really like in his songs is something that he does in a song called 10. Listen to how it is originally. But listen what happens in the middle of the song. The whole song is slowed down and also pitched down, and when I first listened to this, I was like, wow, this is so creative. These moments serves as breaks for the repetitives of the song and introduces something new into the song, sometimes even more aggressive to what I would consider safe to go. However, don't limit yourself to being always safe, and sometimes going a bit unsafe can actually make your song a lot more interesting, as what happened to the song called 10. Sometimes that can be an amazing break from the pattern of the song, and that could be really useful, especially when you're performing live sets as Fred Again is doing, which takes us to our next point in this video. Fred Again is currently one of the hottest acts when it comes to shows, and that doesn't happen because he has amazing graphics in his shows. Essentially, his songs are designed to be played live, as you can see him saying this in this video.
Do you know what I mean? You can stop.
And if you check his show in the Boiler Room, you see that he's doing exactly how he wants the song to be played. You can see that he's doing his songs in a way that they can be performed live afterwards to increase the interaction with the crowd. And the interaction in these shows is just amazing, as you can see in this video.
For your team and leader, I miss the witness, decide to vacate the war's gate sweet just like a Ribena.
This creates a hype around you, and being able to perform your songs live just makes the presentation even more special because it makes it more interactive and also more Instagrammable, while keeping everyone dancing and not focus on the graphics, which his songs are all about. As you've seen, Fred Again's songs are all about adding cool stuff and a lot of ear candies to the song. So if you don't know how to add ear candies to the songs, you can see these videos over here, and they'll show you how you can make ear candies for your songs and also for your breakdowns. I hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you in the next Abstrakt video next week. Ciao.